Welcome to Muffoo Tales, where every story begins with a little magic.
A moral story of the king, the minister, and the wild dogs. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a powerful king who ruled with great pride and authority. He was known across the land for his strict laws and harsh punishments. The king kept 10 fierce wild dogs in a dark iron cage behind his palace. He fed them raw meat and trained them to attack anyone the king wished to punish. Whenever a minister made a mistake or spoke against the king's will, he would order, "Throw him to the dogs." The dogs would tear the poor soul apart within moments. Everyone in the court feared those dogs more than death itself. Among the king's ministers was a wise and loyal man named Arjun. For 10 long years, Arjun had served the king with loyalty, honesty, and great wisdom. He had helped the king win battles, build schools, and bring peace to the land. One day, however, the king asked for advice on a new law that would raise taxes on the poor farmers. Arjun, being kind-hearted, said softly, "Your Majesty, forgive me, but I think this decision will hurt our people. They already struggle to feed their children. Maybe we should find another way." The king's face darkened. No one ever dared to disagree with him. He slammed his golden staff on the floor and thundered, "How dare you question my decision? You have insulted your king. Guards, throw him to the dogs." The entire court gasped. Arjun bowed deeply and said with calm respect, "Your Majesty, I have served you faithfully for 10 years. I ask for just 10 days before I face your punishment." The king thought for a moment and then said coldly, "Very well, you shall have 10 days. After that, you will be fed to the dogs." Arjun went straight to the royal kennel where the 10 wild dogs were kept. The keeper, a tall man named Ravi, was shocked to see him. "Sir, what are you doing here? The king's dogs are dangerous. They'll eat you alive." Arjun smiled and said, "I wish to live with them for 10 days. I will care for them, feed them, and serve them." Ravi hesitated but finally agreed. For 10 days and nights, Arjun worked harder than ever. He cleaned the dogs' cages, brought them fresh meat, washed their fur, and even treated their wounds. He spoke to them kindly, calling each one by name: Raja, Sheru, Moti, Kali. At first the dogs growled and snapped, but slowly they began to wag their tails and trust him. By the 10th day, they followed him wherever he went. He had turned their anger into affection through kindness and care. On the 10th day, the king called his guards and said, "It is time. Throw Arjun to the dogs." The court gathered around the cage, waiting to see a terrible sight. The gate opened and Arjun was pushed inside. But instead of attacking, the dogs ran to Arjun and began licking his feet. They wagged their tails, circled around him, and lay down beside him gently. The people gasped in disbelief. The king's face turned pale with shock. He stood up and shouted, "What is this? Why didn't they attack him?" Arjun looked up calmly and said, "Your Majesty, I served these dogs for only 10 days and they did not forget my kindness. But I served you faithfully for 10 years and you forgot it after one mistake." The court fell silent. The king's eyes filled with tears. He stepped down from his throne and walked towards Arjun. Placing his hand on Arjun's shoulder, he said, "You are right, my friend. I have been unjust and proud. I forgot what true loyalty and service mean." He then ordered the guards to release Arjun and said loudly, "From this day on, no one in my kingdom will ever be thrown to the dogs again." The people cheered and the dogs barked happily as if they understood the mercy that had filled the king's heart. Never forget the kindness of those who have stood by you.
Don't forget to subscribe, Muffoo Tales, for more magical stories.